In the shadows of a past we've known, two souls lost, but we found our way home. Through the whispers of doubt we learned to stand. With a love so bright we've walked hand in hand. You cracked the walls with your laughter so free. I'm the strength in the storms, we're a symphony. With every step we rise above the pain, breaking generational chains. We're born again. We're the fire lighting up the night. Together we shine, it's our hearts in flight. With notes to self, we're writing our song. In this world of chaos, we know where we belong. Oh, we're changing lives, breaking through the fear. A power couple, together we're here. From the ashes of yesterday, we draw our strength. With courage as our armor, we'll go any length. You remind me of the light when the darkness creeps. In your eyes there's a promise, a love that deeply keeps. No more chains can bind us, we've learned to heal. In the depths of our hearts lies the power we feel. We're shining the truth, letting the world see. Together, forever, just you and me. We're the fire, lighting up the night. Together we shine, it's our hearts in flight. With notes to self, we're writing our song. In this world of chaos, we know where we belong. Oh, we're changing lives, breaking through the fear. A power couple, together we're here.
Hey everyone. Woohoo! We're here.
Hi guys, welcome.
Let's see. Get this up. How is everybody doing? Hope you guys like our song.
Oh yeah, we love our song too.
Yeah, it's such an amazing song. Our daughter did so well with it. I am like so happy with the whole thing. I'm trying to get the chat up right here. Let's see. Okay, so this episode's crazy. How did everybody like this episode? Let's go over a few things really quick before we get started. So tomorrow night, we've been doing a book club for Christine's new book, and we've been doing that on Tuesday nights, but tomorrow night I had committed to babysitting grandbabies like 6 months ago, forgot about it. So we're changing the live book club for tomorrow night. We'll do it Wednesday night instead. And I've already created the link for that. So if you guys want to get notified on that book club, we'll go through chapters 15 through 20. If you guys want to come and join us for that. So yeah, I just wanted to remind everybody, thank you so much. A little bit off, $4.99. Thank you for that super chat. Appreciate that. Love what you do for the victims of this cult. Much love. Thank you. We really appreciate that. It's crazy how many people have reached out to us just in the last few days. If you missed it, we did a surprise live on Friday. My mom came into town and she just, we talked about it and I just said, hey mom, do you want to go live with us and maybe talk to, answer some questions? And she said, sure. So she's not ready to go on camera yet, but she is absolutely willing to take some questions, which she did. We put that live recording up on our channel. So if you go under the live tabs, that's where you'll find a bunch of our lives that we've done. And so, yeah, the video that we are making on this episode, season 20, episode 1. Oh my gosh, I have 4 pages. How many pages did you say?
3.5.
Yeah.
So.
There is so much to go over on that episode. And if you don't know, if you're new to our channel or you haven't seen us before, we are actually watching Sister Wives for the first time. We started at season 1 and we're on season 4, episode 3. And I was pointing out to Cory earlier, I really wasn't sure if we were going to continue watching because I just feel like there's so much, I don't know. It can just get tricky to watch it, but ever so often you get that one little trinket of like, oh my gosh, this is why this is happening now in today's live, with the family. And so that's what happened with episode 3 of season 4. There's a juicy little tidbit in there that explains exactly where Robin and Cody are coming from in this episode of season 20, episode 1. And I was like, this is where it started in episode 4 or season 4, episode 3. And it's insane to me because the programming that we all received as small children, there's a lot of programming that happens and you see that play out in your life. We still see it play out in our lives with as much healing as we've worked on doing. I mean, doing this channel has brought up a whole different level of healing for us that we were unaware of, that we were like, oh, hey, let's start working on that. So, So yeah, you can definitely see. So I think we'll probably still keep watching it just because these are those little tidbits that we can then point out to our viewers that watch us. This is why Robin thinks this way. This is why Cody's doing this.
And still believes that her and Cody are living the righteous, highest degree of their religion and glory to this day.
Yeah.
And they are perfect. They're doing it perfectly. And the other wives are the ones that chose out and stepped out of their agreement to the family.
Right.
So
it's definitely, it's crazy to see that. And we'll release that video here pretty soon about season 4, episode 3. We'll release that one here pretty quick. But we haven't put it out yet. There's just been so much going on with special forces and now with season 20 just starting. And then of course we've had my mom in town this weekend. But this episode, oh my gosh, this one enraged us so much, to such a degree. It was, there's so much on here that I'm just like, who are these people and why are they so entitled? It blows my mind how entitled these two feel. Let's see. Do you have are you catching any questions?
Yeah. Let me read it here.
So now we can't put questions on the screen again. We're such a shit show around here, I swear. We get them working one time and then the next session they don't work. So I'm not sure like what's happening or why they're not working for us now. But go ahead.
No, Mother of Baggins says, listen, Robin had several offers. We are lucky she chose to grace our TVs and so with so many offers. She is saying that for a reason. She is preparing. This is why I said I think 2 or 3 more years they'll be divorced too. She still believes wholeheartedly in the AUB and in getting into heaven and all of that stuff. And now we're looking and hearing that Janelle might get that spiritual release.
I think she already did, to be honest.
She is also detailing that Christine, by having sex with another man, is released. And so she was saying the only way, she had many offers from many monogamists. That's something that she didn't choose. She's being such a victim about this. but she didn't choose to be a monogamist. And now they're monogamous, even though they lived that way the whole time they were married with the other wives. Now they're monogamous again. She's telling us that because that will justify her faith, will justify her getting a release or leaving Cody in the future and marrying, unfortunately for some sap in the AUB, back into a polygamous family so that she can get that godhood, that become the queen and the priestess in heaven. It might not be happening now, but again, it's not her fault. It's the other women's fault. It's Cody's fault. She is setting that up. She's telling us her truth, that she would like it with her guarantees, with this, with that. But once the show's done, she's the villain for all of everybody of us watching. This will justify her to get a release from Cody, get a divorce legally, and then come back into the AUB and marry a worthy priesthood holder within the AUB so that she can get that kingdom in heaven for her and the new husband, so, and his wives. So she's probably looking. So,
and honestly, Cory and I were like split on whether they would get a divorce or not. I said no, he said yes. I 100% think that they're on their way to a divorce now. Robin just said too many things in this episode that made me go, oh, she's laying a pattern. She's laying a path to be able to leave and go back to the AUB.
Yep.
When they talk about at their dinner, when they talk about a family member asked if they were going to live polygamy again, this is extremely common in polygamous situations because everybody wants to know, are you going to come back and be saved? Are you not going to be saved? What is your plan? What are you, you know, and so this is extremely common for people, for family members to do this kind of stuff because they want your salvation to be, you know, they're concerned about your salvation. And so they ask these things. Also, Robin's sister is married to one of the bishops. And so that right there gives a lot of, you know, insight for people curious if they're going to come back. Thank you so much. So Blessed Canadian. She says, since finding you guys and getting more insights into the cult, I certainly watched this episode more critically and informatively. So loved hearing your mom on the last live. Many times I've wanted to hug her. Oh, thank you. Yeah, she
needs hugs.
She does.
All the time.
Yeah, she's spending the day with my sister today. So she wanted to be here for this live, but my sister needed her too. My mom's got 7 girls. So she went and spent the day and then has dinner with that. And then she's heading back home tomorrow. So thank you guys for all the comments. It is hard. My mom is 71 and just trying to break free from this cult. And you can see the programming in Robin, even at the very end of the episode, when she says, it's hard for me to say to Cody at dinner that, no, I'm okay being a monogamist. It's hard for me to say it right now that it's hard. The indoctrination is so deep. Yeah. Literally, your eternal salvation, your eternal soul is on the line. Mm-hmm. And it is one of the scariest things to have to leave this religion when you honestly, genuinely believe that you're not going to be saved. And so I really am so proud of my mom at 71, finally reaching that point in her life where she is ready to get away from it, ready to get away from that deep of indoctrination. She's looking at things so much differently now. I don't push her. Nobody really, I mean, we've always pushed her throughout the years, but when you watch Robin and watch how deep this indoctrination really is, it's scary. So, let's see, this chat seems to be highly caffeinated. That's hilarious. Yeah. You guys are doing great on the questions. So yeah, she definitely, I wanted to go back to one of my notes. I feel really bad because I try not to judge people on their physical appearances because that's just really hard. But I am struggling so hard with Cody's teeth. I am having the hardest time even paying attention to him. It's already hard to take him seriously as it is, but then you look at his teeth and it's like, it makes it even harder for me to pay attention to him and actually think that he has anything worthwhile to say. Most of the time, I don't think that he really does. But one of the things that we pointed out that I really wanted to go over is at the beginning of the episode, Cody says that they're selling the property, and he doesn't want to help Christine and Janelle move their stuff off, or not Christine, Mary and Janelle move their stuff off the property because they haven't been kind. And the facial expressions that this man does are creepy and they're wrong. And now tell everybody why you feel like he said that. Because we pause the show and then we go off on these long discussions as to where some of that belief system comes from. And now I know people have come at us in the comments that Cody wasn't raised in this religion, but he was raised Mormon, and this religion is a splinter off of the Mormon church. So the foundational principles are very similar, they're very in line with each other. Polygamy is definitely the biggest, but that was taught by the Mormon church, the LDS church, at the very beginning. They've just since denounced it and stopped doing it. So why did you think that Cody said he couldn't be nice, or the women hadn't been nice to him?
Well, because he is the priesthood holder. This is in Mormon doctrine also, the way he was raised. The priesthood holder is the head of the family and should be respected at all costs, and they should be being kind to him. If they're not kind to him, if they have issues with the way Cody is behaving and stuff like that, they don't deserve his love, his help, his kindness. And so they're not being kind to him. He will not give them an ounce of anything. Helping take care of, and it's also, I think, an ego to him that he still has somewhat, because they're all connected with this property, somewhat control over them. Mm-hmm. The minute that property sold, he's lost really any control, any connection to those wives. So this keeping the property as long as he can, it's an ego thing for him. He's basically the leader still, and they need to be kind to him if they want him to be working to get that property separated.
Well, and you had mentioned earlier that he was like in polygamy, he's a god in the family. So he has like a deity role in this family. Mm-hmm. The whole family looks to him for direction. And so when they stop doing that, whether they're kind, whether they're not kind, they have now disrespected him. His position. Mm-hmm. And so they no longer respect that he is this deity that we have put our fathers up to be. Mm-hmm. And so priesthood holders. Now they literally could not say anything to him, and he would think that they weren't kind because they didn't say anything to him and respect the position that he holds. Yep. And every man that I have ever experienced in polygamy is this way. Now, I'm not saying all the men are, but my experience with the men that I have experienced, this has been the role. Even if it is like a subconscious thing that they don't quite understand that they're even doing, it's so ingrained and trained into them. The patriarchy is so strong with these men that they behave this way towards the women who now are not bowing at their feet, who now are not raising him up to be. He's used to going to every single home and being literally glorified as a god, and now he's not.
Yep. He may have done some things as the man in the relationship that they can be frustrated with, but his position as leader should not be disrespected. His position as the deity should not be disrespected. And so they still need to be kind. They can be frustrated with what he did as a man, but his position is not to be disrespected at all.
Exactly.
Right. There was a good
thank you so much, Mother of Baggins, for that super chat. She says, I think Cody's hair got a spiritual release. Yes, that's hilarious. I love that, because I think that's so true. Now, you had a question you wanted to get to? Yeah. One of the things that we wanted to talk about too, that we'll go into deeper detail in our when we drop our video, is Oh, I guess we can go over that and then we can go over this. So
No.
go ahead.
No, Anna G says, I've been wondering if his time spent promoting special forces will end in him starting to be more critical of Robin's appearance.
Don't back up so much from the mic.
Yep. He's going to be exposed on how real trophy wives look and act.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, and there's a couple of women on special forces that already had an issue with him because of his, oh yeah, it matters what they look like. That part of the conversation when Robin called him a pig was hilarious.
Yes.
I was laughing so hard. I was like, yes, that is so true.
Well, and the way she kind of said it, he can sometimes be a pig, but she still respects
his position. Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
And so she's trying to explain it away, kind of what they did in the previous seasons. They would explain away certain behaviors that Cody had because they still respected his position within the family.
Yeah.
Anna G asked another one.
One of the things that I wanted to point out too. So in season 4, episode 3, which is the one that we're on right now, one of the things is Christine and Robin, and they're going to dinner. They're going to lunch together to talk about their relationship because they're struggling in their relationship, right? And one of the things that Robin says is that she spoke to her mother, and the advice that her mother gave her, this is what lit Cory up to, is the fact that she's probably done and said nothing wrong. It's her position in the family. So she came in as the 4th wife, a wife who hasn't been in the family. They haven't added a wife to the family for 16 years. And so it's not her, it's nothing about Robin personally. It's about her position. This is the part that I lost my mind on, because this is where people lose accountability for anything that they do. Because now it's never Robin's fault. It's never anything she said or did. It's never anything that, she might, it's just Christine is the one with the issue. And she's upset with Robin because of the position that Robin plays in the family. So this is where the lack of accountability, in my experience, in my opinion, comes in with Robin and Cody. Robin takes zero accountability because nothing advice given to her from her mother. Now, this is how these generational, messed up mentality comes about, because it's mother to daughter, it's matriarch to daughter, it's matriarch to the next girl in line, is don't worry about it. This isn't your fault. This is the position you hold. And so now Robin never has to be accountable for anything.
For her behavior. For
anything she says or does, because it's, Christine just has an issue. Mary just has an issue. And it's all because of the position that I hold. This is what Cody is doing too. I don't need to ever be accountable for who I am as a priesthood holder, because it's my position. So therefore you cannot judge me. You cannot call me out on what I'm doing. You can't be unkind to me. You can't disrespect me because of my position. And so this is where a lot of this conditioning comes from with polygamous children, is we are conditioned from a small child that you respect that person because of the position that they hold. And so we'll go deeper into that when we drop our video on season 4, episode 3. But I just kind of wanted to explain, that's where, in my experience, this is why Robin and Cody have zero accountability about anything, because these women walked out of the family not respecting the position that Robin holds, not respecting the position that Cody holds, and not respecting the position that they held.
Yep.
They were supposed to hold the position of being a shelved wife.
Yep.
They were supposed to be holding the position of, because they made an eternal commitment. You don't just get to walk away from that, even if you are a shelved wife.
Yep.
That's your position and you should respect it.
Yep. And they were the ones that broke their covenants to the family or to Cody. And so they're the ones in the wrong, no matter what Robin and Cody's behavior was to drive them out. They were the ones in the wrong because they gave up. They quit the family. And so,
yeah.
Yep.
Katie, Cory's sister Katie is on here. She mods for us. And thank you so much for that comment, Katie, because I really agree with you. She says, Maddie hit me hard, but I think most kids raised in this cult can all relate. I know that I personally struggle with feelings of sadness about parent rejection. I know that I feel this way. I have absolutely felt this way with my dad. So if you don't know who my dad is, he's the current leader of the AUB. He is the one who gave Mary her release from Cody. He is the one who has most likely given Janelle her release from Cody as well. But I have felt this too, and I have tried so hard to get my dad's approval or to try to make some sort of reconciliation with him. And I think it's natural as a child to want your parents to love you. But in this religion, it's like, why? I got 20 more of you. It doesn't matter if I like you or not. I got 20 more of you that I'll get love and affection from. So it's very easy for a parent to discard a child because he's got a dozen more. It doesn't really matter. But that child, we still feel that rejection. Absolutely. And in normal relationships too. That's just normal for us to want, as human beings, to want our parents to love us. But I feel like in this religion, especially if you're a girl, you want your parent and you continually try to keep sweet, continually try to give chances over and over and over. And the rejection is horrible.
Well, one of the things too is Cody says in, I think, this episode that he wants to have a relationship with the other wives and he wants to have a relationship with the kids, but they want that relationship on their terms. And he's unwilling to do it on their terms. And so you're kind of wondering, well, what are your terms? Well, in this episode, he tells not only all of us and the children and the ex-wives what those terms are. And that's when he's describing what kind of woman could come into their family.
Yeah.
They have to adore Robin. They have to have a relationship with Robin as deeply as he does for him to then turn around and have a relationship with them. And if they're unwilling to accept Robin to the full ability that he is as this loving leader and adore her as much as he does,
where he feels like they never have to compete for his love against Robin. Yeah, sorry.
Then he will allow a relationship with those children, those ex-wives. So it's pretty interesting that he states what his conditions are in this episode for them to have a relationship with him.
And that's what I don't understand. Like he gets so frustrated with the kids because he's like, you just want a relationship with me 100% based on your terms, buddy. It's the same thing. He's literally setting conditions for his children. As a parent, you don't set conditions for your children like that. Thank you, Mother of Baggins, for that super chat. She says, I want Cody and Robin in love off the grid in shit in a can. Oh, that's funny. I don't think I've ever seen that. Is that a reality show? I don't think I've ever seen that. We'd have to look that up. Let's see. I wanted to read this one. There was a comment that went by that said, Christine shelved Cody. Exactly, she did. And that is not the position that she agreed to when they got married. And so how dare her? How dare her be unkind to him? Jamie Van De Walker says, damn those sister witches. Okay, can we just talk about how straight up genius Janelle is? Because he calls them sister witches. And literally, I'm on Instagram this morning at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, and she's already got shirts up that say sister witches on them. And she's already selling them for the holiday season. She is she's a genius.
So,
and they talked about that. Christine says that Cody's getting more creative with his name calling. Mary says that Cody gets his confidence from calling other people names. And Janelle's like, hell, I'll take that on and I'll make a ton of money doing it. That's what you get, boy. Oh, Anna G says Saul is 5 years younger than Maddie when she became a mother, and his dad brushes his hair. Yeah, I thought that was a little odd too, because isn't he like 14 now?
I don't know.
Yeah, she's really
that's got to be hard on the other kids who all raised themselves or had mothers raising them, and Cody never showed up in this capacity with younger siblings, and all of a sudden they see how involved he is as a father, that he was never there for them, and they just want to have conversations, and he's not going to have those conversations with them until they are obedient to him and respect his position. So
yeah. Hannah G
Right.
also says, come on, are there seriously no single dads on the production crew that aren't like my guy? Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the thing is, there's probably a lot of people talking to him and saying, hey, you should, just to clean up your street credit or whatever it is, you should actually be kinder to your kids and do this reach out. But again, he's already told us why he will not do that. So he is not until they respect, and it'll go in one ear and out the other for him. He does not comprehend that he could just show up, especially now as an older dad, just show up and talk to his kids, love on his kids. So
yeah, I think it's so sad that he hasn't.
It's his conditioning.
And that's what I get so tired of. We are all conditioned as all of us, as human beings, not just in this cult. Cult conditioning is different. It's been scientifically proven. When you are raised in such an extreme cult, your brain develops differently, and it's hard to repair. It is very hard to repair. So those who are raised in extreme cults have a harder time when they get older healing, but it is still your responsibility to heal as an adult. It is still your responsibility to right those wrongs and not continue doing them, saying that's my upbringing, that's how I was raised. Sorry.
No,
that's not a good excuse.
You become the father or the mother that you wished your parents had been.
At least we hope.
That's what we're hoping. That's what we're trying to do, is become that person that we wanted to see in a parent growing up.
Right.
So,
right. So yeah, that's, somebody says, did you end up explaining what a fluffer was? For those of you that were not on our last live with my mom, yes, we did explaining that now, and we'll go into another video.
Not to your mom, we didn't.
Yeah, she looked it up and we talked about it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You started it.
I did. I'm so sorry.
But yeah, we'll go into a different video about that, because there's actually, it was funny. We laughed about it, but there's actually in this, especially in this religion, I'm sure any religion, there's a lot of shame around sex. And so I really want to dive deeper into that subject when we're not talking about sister wives, because of the amount of shame that there is, especially in
that we're raised in.
So my mom and I had a really deep conversation about this. I loved the conversation, and so I said to my mom, what's spiritual about that, Mom? And she said, exactly, there isn't anything spiritual about it, because these men make up the rules as they go along when it comes to sex. They want you to behave a certain way as a wife so that they can put you in a box when they don't want you, or when they're not available for you. They can put you in a box. When they're ready for you, they'll take you off the shelf, take you out of the box. Okay, let's go. And so there's a lot of shame fostered to women, especially about sexual nature in the AUB, in polygamy in general. And it's disgusting, and it's really sad. And they're winging it. Half the time, these men don't know. They just have a sexual appetite for one wife that they don't have for another wife. So then they make up some bullshit about the religion to justify their sexual behaviors.
Well, and there's a rule that the sister wives set down at the very beginning. We don't discuss sex. We don't discuss what goes on in our bedroom. That rule is for all of them too. Cody gets to go from bedroom to bedroom to bedroom and have a different experience, and none of the other wives are going to talk about that and hold him accountable for behaviors he's doing with each and every one of them. So,
right.
So
and when
it's,
sorry, didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. So now that he's a monogamous, he's being held accountable by one woman, and you know what I mean? So, and it can be frustrating for both of them, because both of them had this ability to ignore other things that were going on and just have their special relationship. And now they're with each other 24/7, and it's getting less special for Robin. So
yeah, it's definitely, I feel like these men make up these doctrines and rules as they go along when they don't want to be accountable for anything. And when I was talking to my mom about this, we had a really long conversation this morning. I was telling her, there's been so many times that I've thought, am I doing any good with our channel? Are we helping anyone? Should we be done with this? And then I said, but it's conversations like this that I was having with my mom, because she's 71 and some of her thinking and mentality has been, she's learning something new right now.
Mhm.
And so I said to her, that's why you need to speak out more, Mom, is because she watched Sister Wives with us. And she was just like, she gets blown away at some of the stuff that is said. And I said, and this is why we have to keep speaking out, is because right now we need to speak out more than ever, because there are women who are in the dark, who
Mhm.
are unhappy in their marriages, and there's so much shame around them, their sexuality, whatever it is, that all of that combined, and they don't know how to get out. And this is why we have to keep speaking out.
They want a love story too, and he is unwilling. They're unwilling to get it. So
Katie says, take a drink, Mel, put some chapstick on. Oh, that's hilarious.
I
Thanks,
just
Katie.
I just took a drink.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
We need shots, right?
Yep.
I love this. Thank you for this. Thank you for this comment too, Mother of Baggins. It says, production showed us the truth. Shows Cody brushing Solomon's hair, cuts straight to Logan raising all those little kids, getting them ready for school and being the dad.
Yep.
This is how it is. I mean, we are both the oldest. That is truly how it is. It's children raising children. And it's really tragic. Thank you so much, Peace Seeker, for that super chat. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you for the comment too. She says, you're both beautiful souls. Thank you for welcoming into your home and being a safe space. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Been a little emotional the last couple of days too, for dumb reasons. I think since I've had my surgery, I've just been a little bit more emotional. And so, yeah, talking to my mom, my heart hurt for her this morning and some of her thinking. So thank you for that comment. That was really kind. Gonna get me all teary-eyed again. Only in Theory says, I feel for Maddie. When you are a child, it is very painful to come to terms with being abandoned by a parent, even as an adult. It is. And psychologically, we always put our parents in a God file. We do. It's just part of human nature. And when you're raised in a cult and then that is reinforced your entire life, that makes it even harder when you get rejected. Because, a lot of times we don't even realize subconsciously that we put our parents in a God file. And then you are raised in a cult. It's amplified every single teaching that is taught to you. And now you're being rejected. That is such a harder, it does so much more damage to someone who was raised in a cult like that. You see anything else? I'm trying to get to some more questions. That's so funny. Take a drink, Mills. Yeah. Let's see.
Well, the one thing I was going to add here. Yep. When Robin does leave, there's some people that have said in the comments that she'll probably go back to the AUB.
Yeah.
Is there people that would take her in? Absolutely.
Well, she's going to come with a good chunk
she's
of money,
going to come.
I'm sure.
Yep. She's going to come if the divorce goes through and they split all of the goods that they've been hiding away, because Robin knows where all the goods are. Everything that Cody's hidden from the other three wives, she's taken inventory. And so when it comes to the point where she gets a legal divorce, because she can get that now, she'll take half or more of the funds from Cody, and then she will be that money wife. And yeah, the AUB, especially high up in the leadership, PSRs, things like that, are looking for money wives. So, and are getting them. So, because the PSR already got a money wife. And so adding a second money wife would just be super easy. And she would probably be loving that, because she would be marrying into the prophet's family and having her calling an election made sure she'll be absolutely guaranteed to go into heaven, and prophet will take care of her and her money. So
for those of you that don't know, thank you guys so much. We have so many viewers on tonight. Thank you. But for those of you guys that don't know, Cory will throw out little terminologies like calling an election made sure.
Yeah.
In the Mormon religion, along with the AUB religion, there is, when you marry the prophet, and now I don't know if this is the calling an election made sure. So you go through the temple and you receive your endowments, but then there's a second step after that.
Endowment. that gives you your calling and election.
And that means no matter what you do for the rest of your life, the atonement of Christ no longer applies to you, because now you are going to heaven and everything falls on your own shoulders. And it's, and so in the polygamous religion, when you marry the prophet, you go through that second, second anointings.
Yeah.
You go through that, and your calling and election is made sure. So it's an honor to marry the prophet. It's an honor to be in that position. And at that point, you can really never leave him, and you can really never do any wrong at that point. You can almost do whatever you want to for the rest of your life, and you're saved.
Yeah.
So that is one of the biggest reasons a lot of people didn't understand in the FLDS why these women, well, we can't call them women, they're girls. And I get a lot of flack on this channel for calling women girls, but here's why they do it, is because they are girls. Most of these young girls that are getting married are girls. They're not women yet. And so once you marry the prophet, you're set for the rest of your life. You're 12 years old. Now you've married the prophet. You can do whatever you want to for the rest of your life, and you're good. Not
in the AUB. You at least probably have to be 14, right?
Well, I mean, I was 17, so you have to at least be 17 to get married in the AUB, under my understanding. Now, back in the day, no, you didn't have to. You could be 14 and be courted by an older man. The original prophet that started the AUB started courting a girl at 14 and married her at 15 when he was 39. So yes, underage marriages have happened in the AUB, but it's not on the regular. So yeah, let me try to catch up here. Someone says, I want to see Cody be Robin's best customer now that no one else is buying. I think that's funny. I think it's disgusting when he said that to her at the dinner. I would marry, but only for one reason, because I don't get enough of it anymore. And monogamists he says polygamists get an abundance of sex. Monogamists don't get enough. So in one breath, in one scene, Robin's over here like, we've never had an issue in this department before. Like, why create one now? And then the next scene, Cody's like,
I'm not getting enough.
We're not getting enough. So I'm like, you're such a douche. Like, he's such a bad. Oh, I know. I got to catch up in the comments here.
Spooky Micah says, in the LDS church, it's rumored that the second anointing goes down to your grandchildren. Does it work the same in the AUB? Usually, again, based on teachings that I was kind of taught, me growing up in it, once a parent or a group of the husband and the wives get their second anointing, that's really for them. There is those children are sealed to them, and if they live righteously, they could get their second anointing too. That's basically saying you now are truly a God who will be able to get a planet and raise your own family. But you have to achieve that. You do get blessings. Your offspring get blessings. But again, it's only if they follow the teachings that you have told them. If they stay faithful and consider you as their father or grandfather, the head, the leader, then yes, they are going to get special blessings, that as long as they're staying faithful to the group, that they will basically get that. They're more open to getting the second anointing. So you have to be called to do it. And my understanding, if they do it in the church now, it's probably under wraps. I don't think the church promotes it. So a lot of people don't know. We have talked to so one of our friends that does Sister Wives commentary, Moroni Jessup, he goes on TikTok as Punk Rock Polygamist. If anyone follows him, we're actually probably going to do a live. He's had some health issues, so we haven't been able to connect with him on that, but I wanted to, because he's actually really knowledgeable in this kind of stuff, in the history of stuff, where I'm not as knowledgeable in the history. I know some, not a lot, where Nephi or Moroni is very knowledgeable. So these are the kind of questions I write down to ask him later. I'll send him a text message, hey, what about this? And then he'll spell it out for me. So I really appreciate how willing he's been to do that. So I think we're going to get together with him soon so that we can ask more of these types of questions, because honestly, we can only go by what people tell us.
And I don't think the Mormon church is
Yeah.
promoting the second anointings anymore. Let's see. There was a question right here. If Robin divorces Cody and goes back to the community, would Cody also be free to go back and remarry within the faith? Again, this could be a split answer. What were you going to say?
I don't know it. Well, first of all, I don't think he would want to go back into the faith. He's already showing and has said verbally that he doesn't trust the leaders, and that the things that he has said that she's calling him a pig about are probably reasons that the AUB wouldn't take him back. He's lost 3, now it would be 4 wives, and so they wouldn't consider him worthy to get multiple wives within the AUB. So I think they'd welcome Robin back open arms with her money. Cody may be able to get in if he came and devoted the rest, the half or the quarter that he was left in the divorce, back to the AUB. But he'd be buying his way back in and buying a wife or 2. So he probably could with the right amount of money.
And so again, this goes right back to what we've said on this channel from day one. The AUB makes up the rules as they go along. It depends on who you are. It depends on your last name. It depends on your financial status, your social status. Do I think they would let Cody back in? No, I don't. But Robin, absolutely, they would let her back in a heartbeat. She will come with financial status, and
she's been saying all the right words.
She says all the right things online.
Yep. To say that she's still connected, still believes in the AUB, all of those things. Somebody had asked, and I'll have to go back and look at that they were wearing crosses.
I noticed that too.
I'm wondering if she's
in the Mormon faith. No, nobody really wears a cross. One of the beliefs that I was taught was, why celebrate the object that took the Savior's life? A lot of people have their own opinions about it. But no, I was not taught that it was appropriate to wear a cross.
Yeah.
What were you taught more about the doctrine on that than I was?
No, that if they're wearing crosses, I think it's probably so that they can support her oldest daughter in her Christian faith. And it's still so that Robin probably can stay entangled with her daughter, so that she can point out the fallacies of the Christian, what they're teaching her. There's a bigger belief trying to slowly or nudge her back into the AUB, probably.
Right. So again, that is one of those questions that could go either way. It really just depends on how much he kisses somebody's ass, to be totally honest.
Yeah. And Cody's number one, he stated it over and over again. Poverty is his scariest thing. Now, even if he got divorced from Robin, he wouldn't be poor probably, and he wouldn't want to put himself in a position where he was poor again. He'd probably find himself some young, beautiful wife that would give him lots of sex and stay. He's satisfied. He's continually saying he's satisfied being a monogamist.
Yeah.
So
someone says, do you really think if Robin is divorced Cody, your dad would scoop her up? She comes with a nice paycheck. I can't really say much more than that.
And her position is great. So
yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of position? I saw that. So many of you guys like punk rock polygamist. He's amazing. I've leaned on him so much for questions that I thought I might not have like the full story on, and then I'll ask him, and he's like, "You would know more about that than me," and I'm like, "No, I don't." But yeah, he's very knowledgeable, and I grew up with his wife. Her and I are the same. Well, she's a little bit older than me. I grew up with her. So yeah, do I think my dad would? Yeah, I do.
Why does Robin keep bringing up other men wanted to marry her? Because
it's something she holds over.
It's something she holds.
For sure.
Absolutely. She was in dating mode when Cody. That's why Cody spent so much time every weekend down in St. George, was trying to win her over, because other men were chasing her within the AUB and even without the AUB. And so he was working overtime to win her. She's stating now too, not only that she had other men that were chasing her, but that she denied the men that were going to be monogamous, because she's basically telling us, telling the world that the only reason she picked the family was because she wanted to be a polygamist, and that was important to her and important to her beliefs. Now, the other 3 wives didn't obey the position. They didn't honor their covenants. They didn't do all of this stuff. So she is looking for somebody who will create that. And so I feel like by her talking about the other men that she was dating, and that she only chose Cody because he was in a polygamous group or a polygamist husband, that's going to give her an excuse down the road to leave him.
Yes.
So that
yes.
she's putting up the floor plans, or the plan of why, and all of her speaking points of why she will be able to leave him someday.
Yep. And so she says what Cody wants her to hear. Yes, we're going to pinky promise. We're going to be monogamous together.
We're good.
But then in the
good.
next interview, on the couch interview, she says, it's so hard for me to say. It was hard for me to say at dinner. It's hard for me to say now that polygamy just can't be a part of my life. So I'm seeing a lot of comments that, yes, the prophet of the Mormon church did pass away a few days ago. And the procedure of getting a new prophet, and with my understanding, is very similar to the AUB. It's
next
seniority.
Yep,
yeah. It's next in line. So I believe it's Dallin Oaks will be the next prophet of the Mormon church. From my understanding, that's the next senior in line. So much of the Mormon church is right in parallel with the AUB. Unless, of course, your name is different and they change the rules for you. I'm not saying the Mormon church does that, but the AUB absolutely does.
Yeah.
Thank you, Katie Heard. She says that there's a couple of really great episodes on Mormon stories about the second anointing in the mainstream church. Yeah, we should check that out.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me get to some more questions. Let's see. You have any ones that caught your eye that you wanted? They're going so fast, I forgot to slow them down, because I know when I set the live up, I can slow the comments down. Let's see. Question, a little bit off, says, question, is the president different from the leader? That shooting was so horrible. I'm so sorry for those who are injured. So for those of you who don't know, there was a shooting at a Mormon LDS church. I believe it was in Michigan. And, there's a lot of theories as to why that happened. One of the biggest theories, that's probably the most correct one, is that the person who did this, his wife was receiving help from to leave him. Okay. And so his wife was receiving help as well as her children. The Mormon church is very charitable. That is one of the number one things that I love about the Mormon church, is that it's very charitable. There's a whole other argument you could do about that. We won't go into that right now, but so that the president and the leader are the same thing, or the prophet, the president, the leader,
seer, and revelator.
Yeah. So they're all, it just depends on what name you use for them. Like, it's kind of like the king or the mate, or what is it? The magic. What do they call the king? What's the other word for it?
The priest.
Yeah.
Well, you're a priesthood holder, so you'd be a priest and a king in the kingdom of God. So,
right.
Or a king and a priest.
Yeah. Leader, president, prophet, same thing. I called my dad. I saw one of my brothers that I hadn't seen in a really long time. And I was like, so what do you think about dad being the prophet? And he was like, oh, he lost his mind. He's like, dad's not a prophet. He might be the leader, but he's certainly not a prophet. So it just depends on the terminology, I think, that you're comfortable with.
Because they do call in the LDS church, he's the leader of I think he's a leader of the quorum of 12.
Well, they do call him the prophet in the LDS church too.
PSR, prophet, seer, and revelator of the LDS church. So there's so many PSRs out there, but he is the PSR of the LDS church. Her dad's the same thing in the AUB church. So
somebody says, Cory, you knew her brother. Did she ever ask the first husband to live polygamy?
I Yeah. So I know her brother, but yeah, she probably knows him about as well as she knows me. So
Yeah, she wasn't really friendly with her brother.
yeah, and so
Brother from
they,
another mother.
yeah.
Cory and him were he
So
was
I
one
don't
of
know.
Cory's
They
best friends
probably
growing up.
see each other on family get-togethers and stuff like that, but I don't think I've never heard her recognize him on any of these shows. So
Yeah.
so and I'm sure. I don't know if she ever asked him to be a polygamist.
Preston.
I
Apparently,
don't
my
think
little brother's
he.
best friends with Preston right now. And so that's funny. I guess I could ask him. We've gotten several emails because we have defended Preston here on the channel to some
Mhm.
degree, and we've gotten a ton of emails going, "Hey, if you need a story, I got one for you. Hey, if you want to talk, if you want to know something about Robin, I've got one for you." So we've been getting a ton of emails from people who grew up with Preston and Robin and know it, and
Yeah,
it's hard because we don't always want to tell other people's experiences. I'm like, you want to come on our channel and talk about it, but not everybody
Yeah.
wants to.
I mean, some of my family knew them when they were living up there, and as far as they understood or saw, they were great until, and I think she probably just used it as an excuse. I'm sure they probably had conversations, but used it as a reason to end them. I don't know the whole thing. That she made it sound horrible. The other side was like, yeah, it it was horrible. Just who was the villain in the situation. So there's two sides to every story.
Right.
So
Right.
and the villain tends to keep showing her true colors in this relationship too. So it, I don't know. A lot of families probably like, whew, thank goodness.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yes. And Preston is alive and well and cancer free. And my brother is a big kid. He's like 6'8".
mhm.
And all my family's very tall. I'm 6'2". Cory, and Cory's 6'2". So my brothers are really big boys. And
Yeah,
he
I'm the
walks around
runt.
as Preston's bodyguard. They joke about it all the time
Mhm.
about him being Preston's bodyguard, because of who he is. But yeah, he's alive and well in Pinedale. I don't know if he lives in Pinedale, but he's up there in Montana.
Yeah, I don't know if you can call her a villain. She shows her true colors on here. I mean, she came right
Yeah.
in and started maneuvering and playing the same game out in this marriage and got exactly. She keeps saying all the pretty words that she wants to be a polygamist, wants to do this, but I think she wants to move from family to family to create wealth for herself. So these guys had a
Probably
show. These guys had that perfect polygamist uh, from the outside, the perfect polygamous family, and she was going to come in and be the head wife. So,
Mhm.
and she did that. And shame on those women for not dumping into her
Coffers.
treasure fund.
Yeah. One
So-
thing somebody said, and I agree with this, I think that Cody and Robin, they should go back to never talking about sex again. At the beginning of the show, they talked about, or they had an agreement not to talk about the doctrine of the church or to talk about sex. Now that they're opening up themselves to sex, we are going to have a ton of videos about the teachings that we were taught around this subject, because they're so dangerous and so harmful. And I have a lot to say about it, being so sexually abused before I got married, and being a woman and just being abused sexually in this religion by these men. We're going to be making a lot of videos about this. It's kind of cringy to watch online because I'm like, yeah, go back to not talking about this. I never want to see you lick off a fork again. But Anna G says, interesting how comfortable Robin was talking about her lack of sex drive. She's criticized the OG for their stagnant sex lives and denying him affection many times. Again, this is what we've seen with Robin. It's not her fault. It's nothing that she's ever said or done. It's her position. And so this is what's so frustrating about this is we're all hypocrites. We're human beings. We're all hypocrites. But Robin takes it to a different level. And it's really hard to watch her just be this hypocritical. And again, one of the things I was talking to my mom about this morning, and Cory and I were talking about this afternoon, is these men, they literally make up the rules about sexual behavior as they go along, depending on who they're talking to. You know, this one wife might be 93 years old and this guy's not wanting to do stuff with her, where he's got a hot young wife over here and he's willing to make exceptions for her that he's not willing to make for this woman. And again, this is where putting, shelving, putting a wife out to pasture because he has no sexual desire towards her is very, very common, unfortunately, in this group. And then if you get upset or wounded about this as a wife, you need to go get right with God. And so I really struggled when I watched Cody and Robin and their interaction and their relationship and at the dinner, because then he says to her, well, if I got married again, she better be hot and she better like to have a lot of sex. In a nutshell. And Robin's like, really? You're talking about sex? You sound like a pig.
She's a concubine.
Right. She becomes a concubine at that point. And that's what's so sad, is because they are making it up as they go along. There's so much shame that comes with that. Like, I have literally heard women say in this religion, I feel like I'm just used for sex. That's it. He won't take me in public. He doesn't want to have anything to do with me outside of this part of the relationship. And that's it. That's disgusting. That's sad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very common. And now I feel like, I don't know, the intricacies of Robin and Cody and their intimate life is curious to me, but then not enough to even want to hear about it. Let's see. Only in Theory says, when Robin talks about what she needs from a potential sister wife, it sounds terrible. Who would ever agree to those demands?
Mm-mm.
Nobody would.
The 3 OGs didn't agree to that. That's the funniest part. She expected so much. This is what I'm expecting. You know what I mean? But in a relationship, I want all of these things. But if they said, hey, we want this stuff too, well, that's between you and Cody. And Cody's like, no, I'm not agreeing to those terms I'm not rearranging the terms that you've already fallen in line for 16 years. I'm not going to change that. But she wants guarantees, but the other wives cannot have guarantees at all. So,
and I think too, when she puts those things out there, if we were going to marry somebody, it'd have to be a good relationship with his wife. And this is what Cory was saying earlier. Cody laid down all these rules and expectations for a new wife, but that applies to his children too.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're not willing to come in and love Robin as much as he does, and if they're not willing to come in and not compete for Cody's love and affection with Robin, then he can have a relationship with them. But if those children want to come in and compete for their father's love against Robin, Cody doesn't have any use for them. Mm-hmm. And so that's the sad part. I think Robin uses these definitions and explanations of what she expects as a way to take stabs at the other wives. Well, you didn't do this, so the new wife's going to have to do this. Christine didn't accept me. Oh, and then another thing that he said was everything changed after, like, they love and accepted Robin all the way up until the honeymoon. We got back from our honeymoon and no one loved and accepted her. I'm like, exactly, you jackass, because you took her on an 11-day honeymoon. What did you expect? You literally abandoned your family for 11 days. Your wife had a newborn. That's on you, dude. That's not on any of those family members for feeling abandoned for 11 days.
But he doesn't believe that his or her behavior should be held responsible. Right? They should just respect his position and her position.
Right.
And her position is the wife that he loves and is willing to spend an 11-day honeymoon with, and wants to spend that 11-day honeymoon with. And if they can't accept that, that's their problem.
Right.
My behavior is not the problem here. It's your lack of respect.
Yep.
Of my position. So
Robin made it perfectly clear she needed that 11-day honeymoon.
Oh yeah.
So you just need to get in line and respect that, because that's what she needed. And we're all about fulfilling people's needs in this religion and family, right? No, he doesn't care what Christine needs. He doesn't care what Mary needs. I thank you so much for this comment, Katie. She says, I want to know who is sending Cody emails asking to join the family. You're all not right in the head. That's clickbait, in my opinion. That's Cody and Robin needing to pay for a $2 million house. So they're making up conversations. We felt this way before too, that some of the conversations seem extremely scripted. This is one of those things I think is scripted. What?
Not me. I think you're being catfish, dude.
That's probably true. Yeah.
It's a dude.
Yeah. Let's see. Twyla says, burning observation. Notice how kids have always been Mary's kid, Janelle's kids, Christine's kids. Yet in this episode, he is now referring to them as my kids. He does, however, make the distinction, my kids with that ex-wife. He has been reading the comments. I would agree with you on that. What?
You're giving him too much credit. I think Robin might be reading the comments and telling him he needs to change some behavior.
Yeah.
There, so
yeah. No non-NE says when people over talk sex usually means they're not getting any in real life. Too over the top. I agree. Corey said the same thing. Yeah. He was like, that's going to get him divorced right there, because Cody is so used to getting his needs met. This is another thing I'm very curious about, because we, being part of this polygamous community, we all almost don't always see what happens to people when they leave after they've abandoned 4 wives. And so I don't know, again, we know one couple that has left, like Cody and Robin left. He's abandoned all of his wives, stayed with the one. We know one couple that has stayed together that has not gotten a divorce. So the odds are not in Cody and Robin's favor, but I'm curious to see the fidelity. Like, is he keeping true to Robin, or is he out cheating on her? Because that's the lifestyle he was used to. That's the way, Robin's not giving it to me now. I guess I'm going to go over here and get it from this girl. Now, I'm not accusing him of anything. I just don't know the statistics for that, for people who have left polygamy. I do know some people, and most of those relationships have ended in infidelity, because the man is not used to being with just one woman and his needs are not being met. And so he justifies it somehow in his head that she's not respecting his position and getting into position. So therefore he's not, I don't know. So I'm curious. I'm really curious. I don't know there's any way to monitor that or find the statistics on that, but I'd be really curious to see what that was. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. I'm trying to,
the only thing better than a good catfishing would be them getting a wife just like, oh my gosh, Robin. So, oh my gosh, I don't know if she could handle herself. So,
well, that's one of the things that frustrated me so bad is Robin gives this list of what this new wife would need to be in order for Robin to say, yes, let's do polygamy again. Robin gives this list for it. And then at the end of the couch interview, she's like, but I just don't think that Cody would take it as seriously, or the new wife would take it seriously as me, because I am the most righteous. I am the most wanting to serve God. I am. And so I'm like, you self-righteous, what the hell are you talking about? And so it felt very self-righteous on her part, because she is over here making a list of demands, because what she met all those demands when she came into the family. No, she didn't. Let's see. I thought your phone was ringing. Sorry. DJ Tag says, first time she brought up others' stretch marks, I would have laid her out. Yeah, because this religion is not supposed to be about physical appearances. It's supposed to be a spiritual thing. Raising the most righteous children does not require a body without stretch marks. Conceiving the most righteous children does not require a body without fat. It just doesn't. That should have absolutely nothing to do with the relationship. But yet Robin is as far as I know, again, we have not watched all the episodes. As far as I know, Robin is the only out of the 4 wives to bring this type of subject up. The other wives haven't done it. as far as I could be
far as we
wrong on
made
that.
it in so far.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm getting so far behind on the comments. Let's see. Macy says, how do they bring a new wife without the AUB? Isn't that just an open marriage? So Robin does address that in here. She says, we would have to be married with the proper authority.
Yep.
This is what defines one polygamous group from another polygamous group. This is what defines what we would refer to as independent polygamists. They don't belong to a group. They're just out there living polygamy on their own. Is the authority. Who has the authority? Who doesn't have the authority? My guy has the authority. Your guy has less authority. So my guy's got to do the marrying, not your guy. This is the constant battle. And this is where it's literally turned deadly with blood atonement.
Well, and she's saying this, that's where she was coming up with, they wouldn't be, if they didn't do it through the AUB, going through their endowment house, then she does not think that Cody or the other wife would take it as serious as she does.
Right.
So she has to have it through the proper authority for her to even believe that they're a smidgen of taking it serious.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And in fact, one of my friends growing up, we grew up in the AUB together. They ended up leaving the AUB. And I remember saying to them, because he was talking to me about if God called him to be a polygamist or not. And I said, well, how would you even get married? Who would marry you? You need the proper authority to get married. And he was like, I don't know. If it ever comes about, God will provide the way for me. And so then he truly believed that. He didn't ever end up becoming a polygamist. He did, however, court and date a few girls pretty seriously. And there was a lot of heavy making out in that. But that's what's so frustrating about this is it's like, oh, I just need the right authority. If not, then other polygamous people look at that wife as a concubine.
Yeah.
They don't look at her as a wife.
Mm-mm.
They don't give her the same respect as a spiritual wife, the way that Robin is playing this up to be. Like, well, and then she says that right off, she'd just be what I would be the real relationship. And then she would just be the concubine. And that's what this other wife would be referred to without being married as proper authority. Yeah, I'm so far behind. Thank you so much, DJ Chag, for that super chat. It says, if Cody has a chance to cheat, he will do it. 100%.
He wouldn't call it cheating. It would be considered a tryst. So those are only trysts. He has the incapability of cheating from his position. He would just be having a simple tryst, and she needs to forgive and forget about that. So
yeah. Somebody says, I just want to answer this question really quick. Net Detective says, I'm running this is so messed up. Why can't the wives have 10 husbands? Because the wives are the only ones who can produce children. And that would be counterproductive to the religion to have, I mean, a man can't produce a child every year, where a woman could produce a child every year, technically.
Well, based in their belief system, it's because the men are the ones that hold the priesthood. They don't believe that a woman can hold a priesthood unless she is married under her husband who actually holds the priesthood. The minute they're no longer married, then she has no connection to the priesthood. That's just their belief system. It's that's why he finds it vile and disgusting, whatever he said to Mary, because it's absolutely against their belief system at all. And so it's a Gentile way of doing it. But to be honest with you, a lot of women do have multiple husbands. They just have to do it one at a time, where the men can have them in a group. So
yeah.
They marry one, have a couple of kids, move on to the next higher priesthood holder, have a couple kids with him, move on to the next one. So it's just not part of the belief, and they have to do it one at a time as they move their way up through the AUB leadership.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. The next question is, what do you think of Cody saying a new wife will get jealous of his time as soon as he's been in her bed, and that she will turn into a nag? I think so many things, but for what I can say without getting kicked off the channel is I think that's a way, it's a lack of accountability for him, because he's putting everything onto the woman instead of actually being accountable for the way he treats both of them. And it makes him sound like a bitter, angry shit.
Well,
So,
he's admitting right there
mhm.
that he never had the capacity or the ability to be fair with any of his wives. And he was always going to choose one wife over the other wife. And it just happened to be Robin that he chose to be, because of her position or whatever, to be that higher wife. And so he still thinks to this day that she is the end all to be all, which is great for them. But if they did get another wife, that wife would need to understand right from the get-go that it was only he was going to spend the majority of his time with Robin, and she had to follow a set of rules to be apart. Now he's got his rules set down on what that wife would have to endure to be able to come into the family.
Yeah.
So,
yep. Somebody says, Linda says, well, whether it's real or scripted, it puts the AUB in a really bad light. That's a public relations disaster, which I completely agree with you on. My dad used to be the public relations person that everyone would go to before he became the leader or the prophet. And he would come and tell me some of the things that people would ask him, reporters and stuff would ask him about. And he was like, he goes, that's why they were so worried. One of the biggest reasons why they were so worried about the Browns going public. I'm like, you guys do a good enough job of making yourselves look horrible in the first place. You're a bunch of racist, misogynistic, like, the Browns don't necessarily need to do that for you.
Yeah, they do it themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so my dad used to really struggle with that a lot when he was dealing with the news and dealing with different reporters. And I think it's sad because now that the wives I'm excited for this season, because I feel like we're going to see more honesty than we've seen in any of the other seasons, because now the wives have they don't care anymore. There's nothing to hold them back from being honest about what they don't believe in the leadership anymore. They don't believe in Cody anymore. And so what's to hold them back from being honest about their experiences? And I hope we see more honesty from the kids too. Because the kids, we were always taught to put on your game face. Hey, they're going to come and ask you questions about this. What are you going to say? We were always prepped to put on your game face. And now I feel like those kids had that prepping as well. And I feel like we're going to start seeing a lot more honesty. Not all the kids did. And the ones who swayed away from the approved speech or the approved, this is what you can talk about, those kids were deemed as problem children. Those kids were deemed as, I don't want to say that they were deemed crazy, but they were deemed as problem children. And so don't take them seriously. That's not how it really is. Let's see. Heather McKenzie says, didn't he say that they are no longer a part of that religion? So why would they seek out another wife unless it's to fulfill his personal needs? Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly. And that's the point Cody was trying to make at the dinner, is the only reason that we would do this at this point is to fulfill my personal needs. And which is such a jackass thing to say.
Pig.
Yeah, he's a pig for saying that. And they don't believe in the religion anymore. And that's the only reason, in my opinion, why would you live this way if you didn't believe in the religion? Just to give yourself grief?
Robin stating that she still does believe in the religion. She's the only one that is. Random old lady. If Janelle gets the release, then can Cody even get Robin into heaven? Absolutely not. No. In fact, Mary got a release that took him down to 3. Christine not only had sex, but got married to another man. That took him down to 2. If Janelle gets a release, that takes him down to 1. So
I'm going to almost guarantee that Janelle has already gotten that release.
Yeah.
I would be really, really surprised if she didn't. All it would take honestly is just a phone call to my dad, and boom, it's done.
And Robin was the one that stated how Christine could get out of their spiritual marriage, and that's by having sex with another man. Okay, I'll go do that.
Okay, done.
So, yep. So Robin put down the line of what she needed to do to be out from underneath their rule or their thumb. She went and did it. She is no longer a part of it in their teachings, and Mary's got her release. So they're monogamous, most likely, not only in the world but in the afterlife. The polygamist. So no, he can't get her into. He can get her into.
He takes her to heaven every
but
night, babe.
the lower kingdoms of
every
heaven.
night in bed, that man takes that woman to heaven. Melinda says, why hide behind religion and spew spirituality? He just wants strange and is asking Robin's permission. Honestly, in my opinion, it makes for good TV. That's the only reason he does it, is because it just makes all of everyone watch. It gives us something to talk about, because we can say, look how screwed up this is, because it's genuinely real. Like, again, Cody is not the worst of the worst. He's not the exception. He is the rule. And there's a lot of people who are a lot worse in the AUB than Cody Brown. And they just don't show it for the whole world to see. They sit on your couch and spew religious bullshit and call it doctrine. And then they turn around and they're prostituting out their daughters. They are abusing their own daughters. They are, you name it. And that kind of horrendous activity does happen. So I think that, in my opinion, Robin and Cody only do this for the camera, because it makes all the rest of us watch and go, what a pig.
And they're letting their actually core beliefs slip out on some of the things. That's what I'm interested, because they're letting what they actually think slip out, where they were trying to hide that or hold that back.
So Blessed Canadian, thank you so much for that chat. Says, I'm reading The Sound of Gravel by Ruth Warner. It's sad. I haven't read that, but I've been recommended that book so many times. So thank you for bringing that up again. I'm going to actually check that book out, because I went to an event a couple of weeks ago with my mom and met one of the girls who is doing, she was one of the founders of Escaping Polygamy, and we sat and chatted for a while, and she is amazing. And so I'm starting to get out there and get to meet a few more people from starting up this channel, people from different groups that I haven't always met. My mom has had a lot of interaction with a lot of other polygamous communities because of her health food store here locally. And so she's been intimately involved with a lot of other communities. I just haven't. And so it's been great to get to know people a little bit more. Let me get over here to this one. D Hente, thank you so much for that chat. It says, Janelle had a few seasons ago that all of the other
the real sister wives,
Christine was the one she really looked at as a good sister wife. What would that mean? Is there half sister wives?
Well, so my belief system on that is exactly what Christine cared.
Well, Robin never acted as a sister wife. She went in there and said all the right things and did all the right things at the very beginning, but she never really integrated herself as a sister wife.
Yeah, she never fulfilled what she was saying.
Exactly.
This is what a good sister wife is, but I don't have time to run over and check. I've got a baby. I've got an excuse to not do that. And so Christine was the one that was involved, not only involved with the other wives, but she was involved with all of the children, making sure that they had things to do, places that come and eat. She was the most inclusive, I feel like, from growing up in it. She was the most inclusive. The kids could come over and get something to eat. She would, if they needed something, she was always there to help them. And she was communicating with the other wives, even if they might have been at odds. Robin was communicating communicating through Cody to, hey, this wife has stepped out of line, or this wife is making me feel, or so she's communicating through Cody because she speaks Cody, where the other wives had actually had to work to create a relationship with each other because Cody wasn't always there mentally or physically. So
Well, and that's one of the things that, like, I just cracked up laughing out loud when Robin's giving her list of things that they have to want to have a relationship with me. They have to try to have a relationship with me. I'm like, are you kidding me? You didn't do that with the 3 wives. That's why they're gone. Mary clearly states, I didn't have a relationship with Cody, and I barely had one with Robin. So she's putting these expectations and demands on a new woman coming in of things that she never did herself. Yep. And that's very obvious that she didn't do them. I want to answer this question. It says, do you think in the eyes of the AUB, Christine was adulterous by starting a new relationship without a release? Yes, that would be considered adultery.
Yeah.
And so that's why she would automatically be a release. She wouldn't even have to go into the church to get an actual release, because the adultery itself breaks that seal or that
by marrying another man. And by marrying another man and not coming in and answering the right questions to the AUB for them deemed as their high authority could sit there and say, you are released. We will release you from this marriage. She was in a way disobedient. She just chose on her own to go out and marry somebody else without their knowledge or permission. And so she would be considered wayward
in the AUB without permission.
Yeah.
So that's the first no.
They can't. Polygamous marriages, multiple wives, cannot happen without permission and going through the endowment house.
Right.
So if you were to get married for the first time and didn't get permission, that would be fine. You would have to go through some sort of repentance process or worthiness process to then be able to go through their endowment house, where then you would, okay, you've been living with this person for a year, you got a kid, we'll give you permission to get married and sealed.
Right.
So, but if you were like, I want a second wife, and you did not get permission from leadership to go through the endowment house, just like Cody in the book, they were looking for a fourth wife before Robin, and the leadership said, no, you can't take care of the 3 wives you got. So permission was not granted. Permission was not granted. They did not get to go through the endowment house. She married somebody else because there was no permission granted by the leadership.
Right. Only in theory says, I'm skeptical of Cody and Robin being honest this season for a number of reasons. One being that they have more to lose if the show goes south. The OG will be just fine. And I 100% agree with you. I don't know that we're going to have that many honest conversations. That's why we really pay attention to what she says and how she says it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that in the context of the doctrine that we were taught? And so, because I think Cody just spews a bunch of bullshit, to be totally honest, but Robin still says things in context to doctrine that we were taught. So that's why I'm trying to pay attention to that. We will literally watch a conversation and then we rewind it and we watch it again. And then we rewind it. So we watch Robin's facial expressions and how she is, her body language. Then we rewind it, watch Cody's expressions, his body language. And then we rewind it again to see if we've heard any of that, that little slip of a doctrine that comes in there. And if she's saying what she's saying out of a belief system that we were programmed to have, that we were indoctrinated to have. And I think that's where a lot of that comes from. Let's see.
I want to go.
Where are you going?
My D Henta says,
D Henty, thank you for that chat.
Says, my question was more of why would Janelle use the term real? It seems to imply that there were other sister wives outside of Mary, Christine, and Robin. I'd have to see
we'd have to go and
the episode.
Maybe I'm missing the context.
But if she was saying, well, Christine's the only real, sister wife, I think that would kind of be more of, I'd have to see whatever she was saying, but it would probably be more of a slap. If she's saying Christine was the only real sister wife to her, that's going to be a slap at, or
Yeah.
sliver at Robin and Mary. So
Robin
that's
throws
the
out
term.
all these little slivers, like,
Yeah.
let me get back at these girls. Let me get back. Sorry, I'm changing my verbiage on that. Let me get back at these women for not showing up as a sister wife the way that they were supposed to. And so Robin's over here giving a list of rules for the new women to come in. That to me, that's where I kind of get that question, is that maybe that's what Janelle was doing. Well, Christine was a real sister wife, where Robin wasn't.
It
and
wasn't.
Mary might have had that as a sliver.
It is. It's more of a backhand to, hey, she's the only one that actually, so because Robin's been saying over and over again how she is the real sister wife, her behaviors,
That's true. She has
I
been.
am the sister wife that's so kind and so loving, and all of, and Cody's even parroting exactly what Robin is saying, that the other sister wives need to behave more like Robin as a true loving sister wife. And so this might be a slap back at Robin,
Yeah.
or even Cody. So the only real sister wife would have been
that one.
Was this
Well, and this is what I love about Janelle. Janelle is like, you're getting some snark from Janelle on the last couple seasons. I love watching her do that, because she is throwing out these little subtle snarky things that people are like, wait, did she just say that? I loved it when she said, we're at this final stages of selling Coyote Pass. And then Caleb says, yeah, but I thought they were going to be fair. And she goes, and Janelle pops back, yeah, for Cody Brown.
Yeah.
It better be fair for Cody Brown. It doesn't matter if it's fair for anyone else.
Yeah.
So I love Janelle's snark that she's coming out with, because that is so true. And my mom has that kind of snark too, where she just goes off about my dad about certain things. And so Blessed Canadian says neither of them would have a storyline, which is very true. They wouldn't have a storyline if they didn't talk about this. The other women, you're seeing them go on, live their lives. You're seeing them create their dreams that they would not have been able to create if they had stayed in the AUB or stayed in polygamy. Where Robin and Cody, what do they have? What do they have going on? I personally think that Robin has an online business where she's just faceless, because if she were to ever show her face, or anyone were to ever get any sort of idea that it was her, they'd stop buying from her. So I think she does an online business personally, because there's no way that they can afford the life that, I mean, just the car alone that Cody drives is $120,000 car minimum. So how are they affording this lifestyle if she didn't do something? Because we all know it's not Cody working. I mean, that guy hasn't put an honest day in his, since we've been watching.
I've been looking all over too for somebody selling dolls online that's named something like favorite wife, 4-1, or 4th to 1st, or legal wife. So something like that.
Yeah.
Code names doing.
Yeah. So thank you, DJ Tag, for the super chat. Says Robin played the games for the first few months. She could speak Cody, their wives, there 20 years before Robin pinched in a TV show money.
That were there.
Oh, that were there for 20 years before Robin pinched in a TV show. Yeah, that has always rubbed me wrong.
In the TV show,
how she says that she can speak Cody, and that the other wives allowed that behavior. That was what was even more disgusting to me, is that they allowed that behavior. And then they went to Robin and said, like, why is Robin in the middle of a conversation between Cody and Mary? That's so inappropriate on so many levels. And that's because if you watch Robin, every conversation that she has, she makes herself superior to the other wives.
Yeah.
And I think that's another reason Janelle threw that little, she's not a real sister wife, is because Janelle's like, yeah, even in the whole conversation at their dinner, where she's like giving the list of all the things that the sister wives would have to do if they wanted to come in, she makes it sound like she did all those things. So therefore she is superior to these other women. she speaks Cody, so she is superior to these other women. There's a lot of little subtleties that she does and says that makes her sound better or more knowledgeable or more empathetic or more emotionally intelligent, whatever it is she's going for in that moment, that makes her better than the other women. And so that's why I love watching Janelle and Christine throw these little undertones. Because here's another thing I was talking to my mom about this morning. It's like Cody and everyone made Christine out to just be this bitter old lady who left. So now invalidate everything Christine says because she's just bitter and angry when she left.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is where they play off of, don't take anything that Christine says is the gospel truth or anything because she's just bitter and angry. So they discount and discredit Christine right off the bat. And so Robin's got to come in there and be the expert or be the one who corrects Christine's, how Christine will
ability to leave.
Yep. And Christine will tell her truth, and Robin will discount her in 2 seconds. And so I think that's where a lot of that comes from too. Let's see.
Yes. So blessed. Canadian says, all these years watching Janelle on the couch, she was biting her tongue. So you can see, oh man, that moved quick. See it in her facial expressions. Now she's speaking it. Yep. So
I love that for Janelle too. Because I know I love that for Janelle. My mom and Christine are very similar in a lot of ways, but my mom and Janelle are very similar, and my mom would just let things slide. Janelle, I feel like, did that for years. Instead, what did Janelle do? Packed up her kids and left several times. I'm curious to find out if Christine ever left Cody before the final leaving. But Janelle, from what I understand, left Cody several times. And so Janelle doesn't want to argue or fight or say things out loud. She just packs up her kids and leaves. And that's how my mom was too. She was very much that way. Okay. Do you see? I'm trying to catch up on the comments. Yeah. Michelle says, when Sister Wives ends, we'll see both Cody and Robin on Searching Sister Wife. That would be so bad. We have watched Seeking Sister Wives only when we've known people on there. And there's been 2 seasons that we've known people on there. The first season with the Aldridges. And then I don't know what season the Brineys were on. But we watched. What?
That she knows.
Yeah.
I guess I knew one of the wives.
Yeah, you grew up with Charisse.
Yeah. And
so we don't really watch that show because to me, it's just a way to openly cheat on your wife. I mean, so is polygamy, to be honest. Yeah. But yeah. Jamie says, Christine said they took their garments off in Vegas. So taking your garments off right there is a way that the covenant between the wives and Cody were broken too, way before Christine ever had sex with David or left David or left Cody. Taking your garments off is an instant breaking of your covenants. That's an instant. And so a lot of people teach that right there breaks you're automatically released for that. Other people teach that it doesn't matter. You're still sealed for all time, eternity. If you're the spouse that took the garments off, then you get to become the servant of the other people. Like, there's so many random teachings about it. So it just really depends on who you talk to about it.
If you just took them off for the show and stuff like that, but still wore them on Sunday, would be okay.
Well, yeah, because you still believed in it and you still wore them. It wouldn't be okay. It would be very frowned upon. It depends on
who's teaching.
It would be very frowned upon. And if you went in and tried to get a temple recommend, they would say, do you wear your garments the way that you promised to, faithfully? And you would have to answer yes or no. So if you felt like you could be integrity, say yes, then yes. Let's see. Do you have did you grab a question?
Well, So Blessed Canadian says, I found it interesting that Janelle compared David to Cody. I wonder if she really likes David or accepts him for Christine's sake. I don't know. I'd have to watch more of her, but I think she really does like David. They were comparing, because I thought that Christine was comparing David and Cody too. They were kind of giving some of the attributes, the reason that they were liked Cody, some of the same attributes they see in David. The only difference that I feel like, and I don't know if she said that on there, it's just kind of what is David goes in and does the work to earn the respect of the family. He's there showing up. Cody demands the respect of the family because of his position. He demands respect. He demands, and his behavior has nothing to do with it. And so I think they were just kind of pointing out that they have similar personalities, but
confidence,
things like that. But one demands it. One gets in and works and makes relationships with the kids and doesn't have I don't know.
See, in my opinion about that is that Cody's self-confidence is self-grandeur. It's not real. It's not earned. Where Cody failed, I even wrote this down. I even made a huge long list about that. Because if you really give Cody confidence based on his merit, he failed financially for his family. They were on financial aid for a good chunk of their lives. He failed all 3 marriages. He couldn't hold his marriages together. He didn't even try to hold his marriages together. And then emotional failure. He failed his children. Mm-hmm. He failed his wives. He didn't show up emotionally for his children. He didn't show up. He says in there, I used to be, what was the word that he used? Devoted to my family. Now I'm embedded into my family. Mm-hmm. So he failed in all of these areas. Where does he have anywhere to be confident in himself? Where David, confidence is earned. He mm-hmm. has a thriving business. He has children that love and adore him. And I'm sure Cody does too, but come on, let's look at the ratio. You know, David had 8 children, and most of them all adore him. I don't know how many. Cody had 18 children, and he's got 2 or 3 that adore him. So Cody's self-confidence is self-grandeur more than it is earned and respected confidence. Yeah. And that's I think the difference between Cody and David.
David respects other people's opinions. He wants the best for everybody around. Cody respects his own opinion. He's got the illusion of importance. His, again, I don't want to harp on it, but his illusion of his position, and nobody respects his position anymore. Not even Robin.
And Robin doesn't.
She doesn't. So
well, that's what's such bull. Okay, that's what's such bull crap. If you listen to Cody, he says, I failed at 3 marriages. I want Robin to respect me. And then he goes off and says, you're sister witches. And she's like, Cody, like you, in one breath, he says he wants her to respect him. And he's afraid she's going to lose respect. And then on the second hand, he goes and acts like he's in junior high. Well, like, make up your mind. Do you care if she respects you or not? So
he breathes opposition in everything he says.
Everything he
does these are your sister witches, and they need to blah, blah, blah. I really, really want to have a connection and tell these wives, it's not going to work, buddy. I mean, you just called them all sister witches. Now you want to get together and tell them that I'm sorry. He's a contradiction, a breathing, living contradiction.
All the time.
So.
The brows say, why aren't garments made more like bikinis or something? Why are they so unflattering? The biggest reason is because the garments are made as a protection. When you go through the temple, you promise to wear them to protect you from mortal harm, temporal, temporal temptations. It's hard to go out there and cheat on somebody if you have garments on. It's hard to go out there and feel sexy if you have garments on. So a lot of it is to always keep your mind towards God and your body towards God and modesty. And so that's why the garments are that way, because honestly, you're not going to be out there having sex with random people if you have garments on. You're just, I mean, I haven't tried it, but I'm sure, there's just a lot to keep your eye towards God at all times. So that's the biggest thing. And once you make that promise and covenant in the temple or in the endowment house, then if a lot of people believe if you take them off at that point, you are now unprotected and you are susceptible to the buffetings of Satan, and he can come after you and lead you down the path of destruction. And I think, in my opinion, a lot of AUB members still believe that, which is what happened to the Browns. If they would have kept their garments on and kept their faith intact, then they wouldn't be in the position that they're in now. The family would have stayed whole. But they took their garments off and they fell victim to the buffetings of Satan, and there they are. Yep. Thank you so much, Kathy Perry, for that super chat. We appreciate that. Let's see. Only in Theory says, I feel that if Cody and David were really very similar, Christine would not have married him. She's not an idiot and she seems more self-aware. And I agree. I feel like, again, David has an earned level of self-confidence.
I think they were just pointing out maybe one or two of their characteristics, but I don't think they're comparing them as they're exact opposites in a way. So
well, and honestly, Cody's self-grandeur is he would go to each one of the houses and he's put on a pedestal as a god. He's put on a pedestal as next to a deity. And so of course he thinks that he's bigger and better than he is. Of course he doesn't have to show up like an actual decent human being because he's told all the time wherever he goes how decent of a human being he is. So he doesn't
how amazing he is.
Right. So he doesn't actually have to earn that title, or it's just fluff. What do you think?
I think that it's an illusion. His ego and all of those things, they're an illusion that he's been built up probably from very young age, but that he is so stinking amazing. And he had 16, 17 years of being told that over and over by multiple women. So, yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why these men get so angry when the women leave, is because they are put up on this pedestal for so long by the women, by the children. And then it's like, how dare you have the audacity to leave me when I am this high up and you are not. And now you're going to tell me that I have faults and failings? No, I don't think so.
That's just my behavior. That's not my position. Again, you have to
obey and respect
my authority.
Susie Snyder, thank you so much for that super chat. She says, Cody had 18 kids and every one of them loved David. It seems that way, huh? It really does. It seems like just based on
well, 2 of them are being kept safe by Robin in a safe space.
Well, didn't he have 18 kids before?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
So I would say all of them, but probably Robin's 2 youngest kids. She's keeping them safe from his evil worldly ways.
Right.
So
Pam's Crafty Heart says, senior perspective, Jenny talks highly of you as to why I'm here. Thank you. That's really kind. I love her lives too. I jump on her lives ever so often and listen in. I really like her perspective too. Catherine says, modesty, I imagine, is what the garments are for. It is. Modesty is one of the things, but a protection is the most, is really the thing that you're promised when you go through the endowment house, is the protection of, to keep your body safe and your mind safe.
And there's stories all throughout of why those people that could have got physically harmed, but the garments protected them, and so you're conditioned to wear those garments as not only but as bulletproof underwear, or it protects you from things that, and everybody has heard or has told a story about how somebody was saved because of wearing their garments, and so it conditioned you as a kid wanting to have some Kevlar underwear. So,
and honestly, I was terrified to ever go anywhere without my garments on, because I just knew the second that I did, something horrific was going to happen to me. The second that I left, I took one step out of the house. In fact, some people take it to an extreme that when they go shower, they take them off one half of the body, they wash it, they put them back on, they take them off the second half of the body, wash, and put them back on. Some go to an extent of doing the same thing when they change their garments or put on a clean pair. They do the same thing. So some take it extremely serious and take it all the way to what I would consider craziness, but ritualistic, yeah, where I would take mine off, go shower, bring them back on. But again, I did have all my babies in them, and well, when I was wearing them, I had the babies in them, and then yeah, you're intimate in them. Everything that you do in them to produce the most righteous children. Jen Johnson says, Pop Psych, how I got here. I love David and Allison, but I have been here ever since. Fell in love with these two instantly. Thank you. That's so kind. We loved doing Pop Psych. Yeah. We were supposed to do another one with them, and then I ended up in the hospital with my gallbladder. And so we haven't gotten back on there with them. So thank you so much. I love David. I really love the psychology behind why we do what we do. And so that's why I love talking to him, is because I feel like we've talked a lot off camera, and I really appreciate his perspective on a lot of stuff. Let's see.
Somebody was asking, let me go back up to this one. No.
Well, I'll answer this one while you're looking. Somebody says, sorry to go off topic, wondering what the role of technology living in the AUB, especially with children. Are they censored? Absolutely, they're censored. We were taught all the time to stay off of the internet. Wasn't a thing. It was as I was leaving, it was becoming a big thing. And but we were absolutely taught not to watch television. I didn't let my children watch television. My older children, they got to watch videos that I approved of, and that was it. Corey's family, you guys were not allowed to watch television.
No, we just had a VCR and would watch designated videos that they could have. So
no, we're very, in fact, right now, even a lot of people, a lot of the AUB, even because there is so many of us out here speaking out about it now, they are taught extremely to stay off social media, to stay off of any sort of YouTube's probably the worst one. And because there's so much information, and the more information that people have, the more informed decisions they make. And that's not good to keep your numbers up and to keep your high demand religion, people staying in your high demand religion. That's not helpful.
You're encouraged to, if you need information, you can get them out of the scriptures. And those are approved doctrines that you can, and then you should be going to your priesthood leaders to clarify what those scriptures are even saying. They don't want, knowledgeable followers don't hang around too long. So
right. Informed people make informed decisions. And when you're not informed, you do what you're told.
Yep.
You do what you do with the information that's given to you. And so I think the internet's been one of the worst things to happen for these kind of high demand religions, in my opinion. What was the question you got?
She says, I think Robin will be done after the show is canceled. Here's what's going to happen. There'll be an announcement for, okay, we've run out of stuff. The show's canceled. And then Robin will do a pitch. Wait a minute. We need to go keep the show going as I go through my divorce with Cody. So then they'll get another season or two out of them getting divorced. Don't you want to watch
me leave this douche?
Yeah. I was the poor victim. These girls left me with him all alone. So.
That's hilarious. So yeah, somebody says you nailed it, Corey. Another question is there physical abuse in the AUB? Severe physical abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, and physical abuse. Absolutely.
They call it by a different name. It's you don't spare the rod. Yeah, you spare the rod, you spoil the child. So
yeah,
there are very few spoiled children within the AUB.
Yeah.
in one way or the other. So
Yeah. Somebody says, say Robin does leave Cody and go back to the AUB. How could she keep her superiority and get into the celestial kingdom with 2 divorces and kids from both husbands? It just seems backwards.
by
Well,
marrying a prophet, a PSR,
yep.
you marry the top guy, you're good to go. So
I'm curious if my dad would even bother.
you would think
If she
he'd
had
deny
a
it.
big enough dowry /
There you go.
yeah. With financial incentive, then yes, but other than that, probably not. Let's see. Oh my gosh, Katie says Macy, they would give her and the kids to a new worthy husband. Possibly she could be Mel's new mommy. This is horrible. I never want to think of this option. When you ask my mom, it's funny. What do you think about that? What if Robin went back in the AUB and ended up marrying dad? And my mom was like, he would deserve
He would
that.
deserve it.
He would absolutely deserve that. But the thing is Robin is 4 years younger than me, not quite 4 years younger than me. And for those of you that know, my dad married one of my very best friends growing up. Just recently, he married her. And his sales pitch to that was, she's older than my oldest child. So that made it okay. He couldn't say that with Robin.
Yeah, this would be a big sales pitch. So
yeah, how on earth would he be able to sell that to his children? But at this point, 90% of my dad's children don't speak to him, so I don't know that that'd be too hard of a sale. Let's see. Observation. Robin told Cody that she married him because he was a polygamist, basically admitting it wasn't because of love and being soulmates. That had to cut him. That's probably true. I'll bet that did, huh?
Oh,
But
yeah,
I think
she's saying things.
Yeah, I think chapstick shots, everyone. Oh my gosh, Katie, you're horrible. But that's
Cheers.
Those are the little things that you see these guys do to each other on camera right now. That now the public is catching. I feel like before the public wasn't always catching these things, and so that's where when we watch it, we see it, and then we try to bring it out.
Here's the interesting part. She could take stabs. Her and Cody could take stabs at the other wife. They could go back and forth. Those wives haven't been around for 2-3 years now.
Right.
And so they still need to throw some stabs. So they're throwing them. She's throwing them at Cody. So, and he's taking them. So
yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So
she's got him telling it's not that she doesn't speak Cody. Cody speaks Robin because she is a ventriloquist and speaks for him. So
I know. Sorry, I'm getting
Cory's
that now. My volume is a little bit low.
Oh, I'll play that.
Well,
there.
we were actually going to be wrapping up here in just a second anyways, because we are coming up on the 2-hour mark and sometimes these just get so long. But I wanted to remind everybody that we are doing a book club for Christine's book. It's been really, what we've been doing is listening to the audio and then marking up our book and talking about it. I've really enjoyed it. I think her book is really smart the way she writes it. I love reading it. Just listening to my mom. Christine has a lot of very similar experiences to my mom as my mom has been leaving. It's been very emotional for my mom to read this book. We normally do the book club on Tuesdays. We are going to be doing it this week only on Wednesday.
Yeah.
We just had a previous promise to our grandchildren that I don't want to back out of. So we will be doing book club on Wednesday instead of Tuesday. Again, if you don't follow our social media, I try to do more daily updates on our Instagram account. And then I've been dropping a little bit here and there on TikTok. I kind of stopped using TikTok a little bit. I've been reposting my older content on TikTok, but now that the season's on, we will watch the episode and then I'll make just a little bit of a clip about what we thought in that it's a recorded live reaction. I don't know really how to say that. Mm-hmm. But you'll get kind of our instant thoughts about what's happening. Of course, it's censored for the swear words. We kind of we leave those out, but like just watching it with my mom, watching this last episode with my mom, we couldn't post some of the stuff. Even my mom was wanting to throw stuff at the TV. She was like, who is this girl? And who does she think she is? One of the things that my mom has chastised me over recently is that I do give Robin too much grace and Cody too much grace. And my mom's like, no, she knows exactly what she's doing. She's been trained properly Again, we're on season 4, episode 3, and Robin says right in there, my mom said da 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 da. It's not my fault. It's not what I'm saying or doing. It's just my position.
Mhm.
And so right there, you're already seeing the training that takes out any accountability.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Your
So
behavior is, you cannot judge my behavior, and you're just lashing out because of my position. So
Exactly.
yep, she is building up those narratives right off of the bat. The reason she is being treated poorly in her eyes, because she has done nothing to deserve this, and her mother saying she's done nothing to deserve this. And even when you
Well,
ran
Cody's
into her,
saying-
even when you ran into her mother, the big harp thing was, she's the Brown family scapegoat. No, she's not. I had to roll my eyes. Oh my gosh.
yeah, we've
She's
talked to
just
Robin's
like
mom.
you.
Yeah, a few times. So, yeah. So yeah, make sure you join that. I already created the live. It's on YouTube. If you want to hit the notify button, you can do that. And then that way you'll be notified of when our live comes on Wednesday. We'll do the same time, 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It will just be on Wednesday instead of on Tuesday. And then next week we'll go back to our regular time. We're also watching Special Forces because Cory loves hearing Cody to be told to shut the F up.
Yep.
So, and loves watching Cody's face get smashed in the mud. So if you want to watch that with us as well, we will be doing lives on Fridays probably, or we'll do a video. I feel like you guys like the lives because they're interactive and we can answer questions as we go. But at the same time, we still want to make the videos around them. And somebody says, and we like the chapstick shot game. So that's funny too. My mom will join as many lives. She's probably going to do another live or two with us soon where she can answer more of your guys' questions. And we'll try to make that more of a planned thing instead of a surprise thing. That was just a last minute, hey mom, do you want to go live and answer some questions? And she said, yes. So we were able to make that happen, but we'll try to do it more planned so more people can be there that would like to be there. But yeah, make sure you follow us on our other social media channels if you find what we have interesting to say.
And if you like us, give us a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Follow, like.
Yeah. Thank you guys for sharing our channel.
So.
We're growing. We are almost at 16,000 followers. So we're growing in the last year that we have been actually posting regular content. So we really appreciate that too. What were you saying?
Nothing.
So
poor you guys. Big Alice must be a difficult person to humor. I don't humor her at all.
Cory doesn't. Cory's like the nicest person you will ever meet. He's
until I'm not
the most kindest person.
Yeah.
Like he's so kind to everyone. And there's certain people that he just doesn't have a tolerance for. So
my face, unfortunately, my face tells my story. I'm like, oh my gosh, turn around and walk away. Let her keep talking to lady. We knew exactly who she was. She knew who I was. Yeah. I knew who she was. And I was like, yeah.
Not going to happen.
Not going to happen there, so, Alice. Yeah. Nice try.
Everyone have a wonderful evening. Yep. And we will see. Oh, watch for our video. We're making a video on the season 20 episode.
Yep.
Where we're going to go into a lot deeper detail. So watch for that to drop. That should drop later tonight. Yep.